What does the Mackinac Center stand on that policy issue about public sector unions?
PIRA needs to be reformed. And unfortunately, the situation has developed where we have a union culture in the state that is unaccountable. And
how are they unaccountable?
Well, because they're not accountable to their members. The members do not have the ability to withdraw their support if the union is going off on political activism that they do not believe in. And as a consequence, what we have is a union movement that has political influence all out of proportion with the support that they actually have among the working men and women of the state.
If we didn't have the unions as a counterbalance to corporate power, what power would workers have?
Well, first of all, we're not saying to get rid of the unions. We are saying to have them held accountable to workers by instituting by allowing workers to decide for themselves.
So you want to turn Michigan into a right-to-work state?
Well, let's look. We're looking at government employees now, and right to work is a private sector thing as much as anything else. We prefer to think of it as open government employment.
Open government employment meaning
Yes.
they could opt out of the union?
Yes.
So that's the same thing as right to work in the private sector?
If you want to put it that way.
Okay. And so the Mackinac Center really would like to take the long tradition of the union movement in this country and start to turn it in a different direction.
That would be a fair way to put it. Yes. We want a union movement that is more accountable to its rank and file.
Are you happy with Governor Snyder giving tax breaks to corporations so that he can start taxing retirees and people who don't have very much?
I don't know if you'd call it tax breaks to corporations. I think what he is trying to do is he is trying to set a situation up where the state where corporations actually are attracted to Michigan and can provide some jobs for everybody else.
Mitch Albom said yesterday, if low taxes were the key, why aren't all these corporations moving to South Dakota?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first
Why aren't all the
half of that.
corporations moving to South Dakota? They've got the lowest corporate tax. They're struggling. Low taxes aren't the answer to attract business.
Well, I mean, there's a number of things that are going on. South Dakota is sort of an isolated area. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into a company's decision. This state used to prosper when it was a lower tax state.
Actually not. I was here back in the 60s and the 70s when corporations paid 52% at the federal level. Individuals paid 70%. And you know what? There were a lot more public amenities than there are now. There were great parks. Our roads were in great shape.
Ma'am, I want to wrap this up in a minute, but you're talking about federal taxes at this point, not state taxes.
And your name is?
Paul Kersey.
Paul Kersey.